This is the famous CrossFit workout called Cindy. I think it's an excellent one for wrestlers for building stamina, staying power, being able to do 1,000,000,000 reps of something and never gas out, never hit that complete muscular failure during a wrestling match. Worst case scenario during a wrestling match, all you need is a small break. You can dance around a little bit, stall a little bit on bottom, and then your strength comes back, your energy comes right back. And the way that this workout builds that kind of ability is, say you hit your set of pull-ups, your pull-ups get to rest while you hit your push-ups and air squats. So by the time you come back to the pull-ups, they should be ready again. Okay, if you're out of shape, they won't be ready. So this is a good test. An elite wrestler should be able to do 20 rounds, continuous movement, transitioning from one station to the next with no breaks. Hop up from your push-ups right into your air squats. Burn those legs out. Just keep moving. These movements are also fundamental. They're universal motor recruitment patterns. For example, the air squat, you're level changing. All the way down, all the way up. Just like you will in a wrestling match when you hit your shots, when you hit your stand-ups, hit your sit-outs. You're always hitting full knee, hip, and ankle extension and flexion in wrestling. So your training needs to reflect that. On the pull-ups that we do during the Cindy are different than what we would do during a regular strength session. During the Cindy, the only rules are you need to hit full elbow extension and you need to get the chin over the bar. Okay, there's no jumping, but you can use your hips. You can throw some body English into it to help yourself get up there. Reason being is this is a 20-minute grinder. You're gonna hit over 100 pull-ups. Okay, if you can do them strict, do them strict. But if you begin to slow down on the pull-ups and need to break the set of 5 up, then just kip them. Use your hips. Keep moving. Keep your heart rate up. And what you will find is 100 pull-ups, whether you kip them or not, are going to kill your pulling muscles. Your biceps and lats will be sore the next day. I don't think I've ever gotten through a Cindy and my whole body wasn't sore from it. This one is not necessarily a huge cardiorespiratory session. It's not designed to run you out of breath and make you feel like you're suffocating like other conditioners that we do. This one is just for the sole purpose of that muscular endurance / staying power / stamina that I was talking about. Can you keep moving? Do you have more reps left in your body? It's the worst feeling in a wrestling match is to run out of gas, for the tank to go empty. You need extreme muscular endurance to get through a wrestling match. You need extreme muscular endurance to get through 20 minutes of Cindy. Alright. And you're basically covering all your bases with Cindy. You got push, pull, and squat. So you're building arms and legs that don't quit. You can see a little bit of hip in the pull-up. And this is, can't speak for everybody, but I can do strict pull-ups with 2 to 3 45-pound plates hanging from a belt. I can do 21 strict pull-ups with just my body weight. I can do 18 muscle-ups on the rings. Alright, and I still kip a little bit on Cindy.
Detrás, escucha mis pasos. Detrás.
And for wrestlers and other athletes, because I know the kick and pull up is misunderstood by the peanut gallery. Always get trolls coming out of their mom's basement when you put a kipping pull up on a video. But the kipping pull up is a full body movement, just like any other power movement, like swinging a bat. It has the same value as any other hip drive movement. You learn how to use your hips to drive your pull, it's going to transfer to your sport. You need to use your hips to drive your pull in wrestling. So it's not a movement that's teaching you to do a bad thing, like the trolls wrongly assume. Okay. So on the Cindy, go ahead and throw a kip in there. On your strength motions, your strength sessions. For example, we have a strength push-pull day scheduled every week. We'll do like heavy bench comboed with legless rope climbs in the L-sit position. All right, building gorilla-like grip strength and pull. We'll do rope grip pull-ups strict, or just straight strict pull-ups, and heavy dumbbell rows. Okay. What is important when you're training a wrestler is realizing that a wrestler is a hybrid. They're not one-dimensional. A wrestler needs everything, just like a CrossFitter. The CrossFit community did the wrestling community a huge favor by standardizing these metabolic conditioners and gathering a huge body of data to compare yourself to. Elite athletes all over the world for the last 16 years have been doing the Cindy. So if you do the Cindy and compare your score to these elite athletes, you know exactly where you stand. How elite are you as an athlete? And these metabolic conditioners, these couples and triplets that you see classically designed by CrossFit, are perfect for wrestlers. A wrestler will benefit, but not tremendously, like from these metabolic conditioners, from a segmented training philosophy that is where the origins of conditioning started. For example, to do a strength session and then go outside and do some running. 2 different segments. Okay. Where these metabolic conditioners will blend your strength training with your cardiorespiratory training, which is what a wrestler needs to be good at. And specificity of the human body will require that, will benefit from this style of training. If all you do is segmented training, you'll have segmented fitness. You will not be good at blending energy systems together, your phosphagen, glycolytic, and aerobic energy systems together, and using them all at different extremes at the same time, like a wrestling match. And that's another reason why live wrestling is important for your conditioning. You can't get in wrestling shape without wrestling, without live wrestling. You gotta adapt specifically to that demand. Where conditioners like this one have its value is they're measurable. When you first do a Cindy, you might only get 10 rounds. You're out of shape. You measured it. You know. When you do live wrestling, you kind of know. It's like when I first started, I could hardly get through 10 1-minute rounds. I felt pukey on the first 5. Now I feel pretty good after 10 1-minute rounds, but you just don't know. Maybe you got better at stalling. Maybe you got better at conserving energy, not moving as much, or not taking as many shots as you thought you were taking, or scrambling as hard as you thought you were scrambling. Okay, so this is the value of programmed metabolic conditioners, as they are also tests, constantly testing yourself. You got to beat your former self. What could you do yesterday? See if you can do more today. Okay. Bump this Cindy up to 25 rounds. I think my lifetime best was 26. 25, 26. And you'll know, you'll have confidence in your conditioning. And that's going to transfer to the mat. You'll now be able to handle your live wrestling better. Tremendously better. Okay, on those push-ups, make sure your chest touches the ground. Make sure you hit full elbow extension. Air squats all the way down, all the way up. Feet flat, knees out. Don't let the knees buckle inward. Keep good posture. Flat back. Alright, we use chips to count our rounds. You will lose count of your rounds, so find something to keep track, whiteboard or chips. In the beginning, your first goal should be able to maintain 1 round per minute. It takes about 45 seconds. If you're moving quickly, so if you need to, you can slow that down and drag it out over a minute, just to make sure that you can get your 20. My personal goal is always to be able to do 20, no matter how out of shape I am. I am retired. My boys always get more than 20. They'll be knocking on the door of 30 soon. And like I said, the kipping pull-ups do not replace strict pull-ups. Okay, my boys have tremendous pulling strength. They all can do 15 or more strict pull-ups. We got a rope that goes to that 9-foot ceiling there, and they can go up and down twice, legless, from their butt, L-sit position. They can do the pegboard for over a minute straight without coming off. So one of the routines we do is FightCon bad style Metcons, where we do each station for a minute, as many reps as possible. We do like pegboard, burpees, and running. 1 minute on each, 5 rounds total. And they won't come off that pegboard for the whole minute, even on the 5th round. Which takes not only a lot of strength, but tremendous endurance too. Like I said, they gotta be hybrids. That's a 7-year-old, looking pretty solid. His push-ups. If you struggle with push-ups, just like the kipping pull-up, you can peel. You can lift your chest first, then your hips. That's fine. And then as you get stronger, build more endurance, your push-ups will become more strict. Straight like a board. Going into last 5 minutes, it should be you should be on fire. Everything should be burning. If not, push yourself faster. Always go faster. I think Chris Spieler set the world record at like 35 rounds, something ridiculous. Probably does a round every 30 seconds in the beginning. My boys will do warm-up drills, live wrestling, and then they'll do a conditioner like this. And the conditioners vary. They go short, medium, long. Sometimes they're sprint, hard, short sprint metcons where they intentionally gas you out and rip your lungs apart. And then they could be medium range where it's a blend of both. Long-term endurance and a lung crusher. And then sometimes you get one of these, like the Cindy, where it's just a long stamina builder. It's not necessarily, you're not going to see lung pieces coming up. You will get breathing pretty heavy, especially if you get good at moving fast on this. Sometimes you're forced to slow down, which actually, because of your muscular failure, which actually gives your lungs a break. But if muscular failure is not an issue, you can keep cycling, which you can do that. You can build that up. Like I said, elite athletes like Chris Spieler would do that. Muscular failure really wasn't an issue for him. It was speed. It was how fast could he move in those 20 minutes. Would not really slow down. In his case, he might get the lungs going pretty hard. On these air squats, you're going to hit over 300 air squats. Imagine what that's going to do for your legs in a wrestling match. You're never going to be too tired to take another shot. And bounce back quickly. So you just had a harsh scramble, 10-15 second scramble, which you wrestlers know can drain you quickly. You take a little 5-second breather, then you're ready for another one. You just turtle on the bottom and then take off again. Or circle a little bit on the mat, on your feet, and then take off again. Small breaks, big chunks. You should definitely build these up to where you can go unbroken. 5 in a row on the pull-ups, 10 in a row on the push-ups, 15 in a row on the air squats. And then take extended breaks in between stations if you need to. Try not to break these sets up at all. Here at the end, you can see me pausing on the push-ups. They're getting pretty tough. It's going to be a total of 210 push-ups. I think I got on this one. 315 air squats. No, I don't think. Yeah, maybe I got that last set in. See the boys starting to slow down a little. But at 11 years old, it's pretty impressive. Level of endurance that they've built. Won't be long before they take out elite adults on a conditioner like this. Full send on the last one, go as fast as you can. Just scream it out, tell your body shut up. Empty the tank. Go hard. I tried to get those 15 in. I think I got it. So I think I got 21 on this time around. Not bad for not being in competitive shape. I think the little guys got me. Took out their dad. The state champion right there. Now you know why. They bust their butts. Hard workers. Always got a smile too. They don't ever complain. And that's by design. If you program right and tell them why you're doing things and what kind of results they're going to get, and you give them rest days, then kids respond well to training. If you never tell them why you're doing something and it seems endless and they just have to go until you say stop, there's no goals, rest days are not planned, then it just breaks their morale. I learned that from boot camp. Drill sergeants never told us when we'd be done, so we had no goals. Didn't tell us really why we were doing something most of the time, what we were trying to achieve. They just say do more. It's a good trick to torture you mentally.